Kenapa?
Okay, so here we
Tak
are
matiin
together
dulu.
again for another
Sebentar,
ACAP
Kak.
webinar,
Tutup dulu.
our May webinar. And we're very, very excited about tonight's topic, which is on senior clubs and senior centers. So we have 3 speakers. Now, sometimes our webinars go on for an hour or two hours or an hour and a half or 2 hours, but tonight it will just be 1 hour. So I've asked all the speakers to try to keep their presentation to about 12 minutes so we have time for questions and discussion. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen and hopefully, well, that's my email, but oh, here's my PowerPoint. So just to welcome you tonight on Senior Centers, here's our beautiful speakers, pictures of our beautiful speakers.
I hope.
And we are thanking our sponsors, including the Barbara Cox Anthony Endowment for Aging at the University of Hawaii, which pays Taryn's salary. Yay for Taryn. She's our wonderful, wonderful helper. So just, of course, you've seen this, that we have members from all over the world. To some of you who are new, you can see that our members are not only in Asia Pacific, but also in Canada and Europe and Israel, Brazil, and recently we have gotten some new members from Africa. So that's very exciting. We are a nonprofit group. In fact, don't charge any money. So we don't have any money. We don't have any losses. We don't have any profits. We are just a friendly group. And our mission is to share friendship and best practices for active aging. We're most concerned about the Asia Pacific region because, of course, Asia Pacific region is aging faster than most of the other regions in the world. We have a website, and I have put our little website address here. I'm going to ask Taryn to put that in the chat. When you go to that website, you'll be able to find recordings of our webinars and also back issues of our bulletin. So our bulletin comes out every other month, and we have deadlines at the 20th of every other month. So the next one is right now. So if you have an article, send it in. Vinod, we got yours. We have a nice tribute to A.B. Susanto. We have some very nice articles for this bulletin. The next deadline will be July 20, and we love just to feature new people and programs. So please join us. Please join us. And then we have our monthly webinars, and it's all free. So that's what we like. Our monthly webinars, this is our schedule for 2022, and right now we're on May for senior clubs. We have some exciting ones coming up next month. It's elder abuse prevention, which is organized by Mala. The next month after that, it's digital aging, organized by Dong Hee. After that, well, we're not sure if it's centenarians. Yes, I think it is centenarians, and this is in conjunction with the Golden Age Foundation in Hong Kong, organized by Teresa. And so forth. So we have a number of great webinars coming up. And December is a party, and you're all invited. Last year we talked about healthy foods. I'm not quite sure what we'll talk about this year, but it'll be fun. So if you have any webinar ideas or bulletin articles or pictures, please send them to Taryn, and here's her picture and here's her email address. So finally, just to introduce our speakers tonight. We'll go in the order that they appeared on the program. First, we'll hear from Yoshiko Somea, and then we will hear from Mayor Penput, and then we will hear from Dwi Enda. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I'm going to introduce Yoshiko with a little bit more information. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay, that's helpful. Well, Yoshiko, you can, Taryn, you can go ahead and get Yoshiko's slides up while I do the introduction. That would be great. So Dr. Yoshiko Somea is a PhD from Bryn Mawr College in the US in Pennsylvania, where Chris is from. When she returned to Japan, she worked at the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology and taught for more than 35 years at the Tokyo Women's Christian University. She retired in, sorry, I lost my file here, in 2015 and is currently the director at the Health and Medicine Paradigm Shift Consortium in Tokyo. She has several publications and she is a longtime member of ACAP. She joined in 2005, which is the year that we started ACAP. So she gets one of the awards for the longest ACAP member. Yay for Yoshiko. So thank you very much. Please take it up.
My pleasure. Oh, shall I start? Can you hear? I cannot hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, shall I start?
Yes, please start.
Okay. Thank you very much for your introduction, Kathleen. And I'm very happy to have an opportunity to share the information of the development of active aging measures in Japan, particularly focused on senior clubs this time. This research has conducted with Karen Hayashida. Then we published the paper in Social Science Journal, February this year. So you can visit the journal paper. Then I have the address in the end of this slide, this PowerPoint, okay? Then Karen, I wanted him to join this morning, but he's not able to come because of he has some family matters. Then I am going to do it by myself. Okay, next, please. Thank you. Yeah. Good. So in Japan, we have very long history of government active aging measures. It started in 1960s. The 1960s is the dawning of the era of social welfare in Japan. Then universal medical insurance started in 1961, so as universal pension. Then after a few years, the welfare law for the elderly started in 1963. Then the life of the elderly in those days are quite different from nowadays. Then about 70% of the elderly lived with their three-generation family. The three-generation family means living with children's family, usually the first son's family with grandchildren. The majority elderly were financially dependent on children in those days, mainly on first sons. The first sons' wife have to take care of the elderly parents. This caused so many problems in those days. That's the start point how we developed social services. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, okay. And under the welfare law for the elderly, there are two categories. One is dependent elderly, which means frail, needy, and living alone. Living alone is also considered as under dependent elderly. The healthy elderly means healthy and physically independent. Even for the healthy elderly people, government started some measures. Then government-supported measures started throughout Japan, from the Hokkaido to Okinawa, even for small islands. Then major program among them is senior clubs. Then senior centers and senior college and low-cost hostels, they are started in 1960s. Then national and prefectural and local governments funded these programs. Not only funding, then they initiated programs. Then programs implemented in each community basically on the same scheme. Next, please. Okay, this is a flow chart how the money goes. Under the welfare law for the elderly in 1963, as I said, two categories, the dependent elderly and healthy elderly. Then national government fund 50% and prefectural government funded 20% and local government funded the rest of 25% to the senior clubs, community centers, senior college, etc. Next, please. Okay, as for senior clubs, senior clubs developed in each neighborhood throughout Japan, as I said, from the north to the south. The membership can be over 60 years old. Then funding to clubs needs to be more than 30 members. Then activities, social, indoor and outdoor activities. In addition, these socialization and voluntary activities are held in the community. The members here on the per year on average is about 10,000 yen. It's about $9 US. Then about 10,000 yen a year to the club of over 30 members are funded by local government. This is about $900 US. Then they manage to run the program, this government funded fund, and also their membership fee. Then where they meet, the meeting location is usually used for neighborhood or community facilities. Next slide, please. Then here, as for senior club activities, there are three kinds of activities: outdoor activities, indoor activities, social and volunteer activities. Then as for the outdoor activities, Grand Golf, this is one of the most favorite popular programs among the elderly. Then fitness, it means many kinds of fitness and walking. Also, indoor activities, karaoke, as you know, this is quite popular, not only for the elderly people. Shogi is also popular. This is a kind of Japanese chess. And mahjong, this is a Chinese game, but people don't think about Chinese game anymore. That's a kind of Japanese game now. And painting and handcraft work, and so on. As for social and voluntary activity, cleaning public places, gardening in the public space, these are quite Japanese activities, which I think, because Japanese elderly are willing to clean the public places like park or street, whatever. Then gardening in parks and the sidewalks to make them more attractive in the community, in their community. Then they are quite active to join the kindergarten activities. This is a good intergenerational activity among kids and elderly in the community. Next, please. Okay, then I can show you the trends of senior clubs. During 60 years, many things happened, okay? Then participation in senior clubs peaked in the end of 20th century. Then higher in rural area and lower in the metropolitan areas. And among over 60 years old elderly, 48% belonged to the senior club in 1980s, but it's decreased to 15% in 2015. Then this varies depend on area. For example, Toyama Prefecture has 47% and Kanagawa Prefecture has 5% in 2015. Toyama Prefecture is close to Kyoto and face to Japan Sea. This is one of the snow country in Japan, but it has beautiful mountainside. If it is called Japanese Alps, it's beautiful country area. Then Kanagawa Prefecture, in Kanagawa Prefecture, the Yokohama city is a very famous big city next to Tokyo. Then what is the reason why social clubs are losing popularities? Okay. The reason is considered as losing community ties with urbanization and increased choices and opportunities for those who are financially able. More types of clubs by profit, either by profit or non-profit organization. Now, the senior has more choices and also so many clubs and activities in the community. Okay, next slide, please. So this is a figure of the growth and decline of senior clubs and their membership in Japan from 1975 to 2017. So you can see that from the 1975, both are increasing towards to the end of 20th century. Then from them, it starts declining. It keeps declining. This is a result. Okay, next, please. Okay, the new trends. The new trend of senior clubs. The senior clubs are still taking an important role in leisure activities for older adults in Japan. The current senior adults are about 10 years physically younger than the previous generation. The majority in the 60s are still in working force now. In the 100 years life, many of them will be still working in the future. This would be the future trend. Mandatory retirement age is expanding to the age of 70 now in Japan. Still, we have mandatory retirement, not like United States and other Western countries. They abolished mandatory retirement many years ago, but still we do. The pension scheme has reformed in 2020. This is this year. Pension reform happens quite often, but this is some really big change this year. The pension starts at the age of 65. Then if someone starts receiving pension at the age of 70, instead of 65, it increased to 142%. And then if you start at the age of 75, it will increase 184%. This is great, okay? If someone starts receiving pension at the age of 75, it will double the pension. But this is really tricky because nobody knows how long people can live, okay? Then actually many of them start taking pension as early as possible. Oh, we don't know how long we can live, but it is good if someone can live 100 years old, okay, 100 years, that would be great. Then next, please. Okay, so this is the whole question, how we will manage for the very prolonged life. Then government has to prepare for the 100 years of life, okay? This is all about what I am going to share with you at this time. Then further information is, okay, say I have to go back. Can you go back one page, please? Okay. Okay, oh, here on the bottom of this slide, there's a URL code. You can visit our paper here. So if you have any more questions, please ask me. I'm very happy to answer your question and discuss with you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Let's give a round of applause for our speaker. Terrific, terrific.
Oh, can I finish within 12 minutes?
Just amazing, Yoshiko.
Thank you.
I'm really impressed.
And congratulations, it's already published too.
Thank you.
Very
But
good.
we are almost give up at this point, but finally we could get the permission to publish.
Oh, very good.
Len had made big effort for us. Thank you for that.
Yes. So Taryn has put the link in the chat. If you'd like a link to the article, you can go in the chat and click on that. It will take you to the article.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, not
So-
at all, my pleasure.
So, yay. So next we are going to hear, we're moving from Japan to Thailand, a little bit to the south. And we will hear from Mayor Penpuk Ratana Kumfu. Not quite sure if I got the last name correctly.
Very, very, very difficult.
So I'm just thrilled. This is my first time to meet the mayor, and she is very well trained. She has 2 master's degrees, one in
good.
political science and one in public administration. And she served in many different leadership roles in her municipality of Koka. And- Yeah, she'll tell us better, yes. And currently she's the mayor. In fact, she became the mayor in 2004. She served her term and then she's been reelected as mayor. So she's been mayor there since 2004, which is a long time. So we're so thrilled to have you with us. And she's going to talk about her work in her village in Thailand.
Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead and
Thank
share
you.
your screen.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Penparatana Kamfu, Mayor of Kokha Municipality, and I have too many thanks for inviting me to join you today to present about quality development for aging society in my hometown, Kokha City. May I share my slide, please?
Yes, please, if you can share yourself, or would you like Taryn to share for you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I think you're going to share them yourself. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute, please.
Okay. We'll be patient.
Okay.
There they come. Here they come. Yes, perfect.
Okay. Kokha Municipality is located in Lampang Province in the northern part of Thailand. We have a 4.78 square kilometers and population is about 4,768 populations and 2,245 households. The aim of Kokha is the livable and inclusive city including economics, social, political, and development by our community participation. Therefore, Kokha is the model of citizen voice for city development as an open forum for the public hearing in city development activity, as well as self-finding on social capital and local wisdom, including public participation in city development. We believe that a livable city is not only by someone, but by everybody in the society. Therefore, Kokha Municipality is a livable city that uses the ways of Kokha model to create the sense of belonging and realize in public mind. We have 4 ways to make the public mind of every part in the society, especially the local people who are the real owner of the community. Participation, learning society, self-management, and transfer to the new generations. In addition to this, we have the 2 concepts. The first concept is public problems are our problems, and another concept is administration as we are the same family. We have the concept for developing aging society in Kokha. The first is living city, governance city, safe city, the city of housing stability and environmental sustainable city. And three mechanisms are being implemented: create the participation, creating a sense of belonging, and work on database. Thus, Kokha municipality is a community that driven by social equity and social safety net that make people happy with a good quality of life and leave no one behind, and is a city with the learning society and sustainable city and community. We believe that every public problems can be solved by using an open forum for the public hearing in city development in activity. Kokha municipality have brought the data back to community through public talk to share experience, open for more opinions and suggestions from those in the area. We have a community forum every 1 or 2 months that is a public hearing area for everyone who interested in public problems in the society. This slide is show our community forum for developing community plans on aging society. And from the community forum to the community plans that change Kokha to the quality development for aging society that is conducive to the happiness of elderly and is an innovation that reduces social inequality. And why we interest in these problems? The situation in Kokha is a super aging society. Newborn children are declining. The structure of the population is changing rapidly. The number of elderly people tends to increase every year and causing many problems. And we can say that Kokha is a completely aging society since 1912. People aged 60 and more than about 30% of the total municipality populations from 10% in 1906. So we try to create the quality of aging society by reducing social inequality in community that required the cooperation of the network, both public, private, and civil society in the community level. The preparation for super aging society in Kokha, we divided into the elderly into 4 groups: healthy elderly, dependent elderly, and disabled elderly, and use the concept of how to change burden to the power by the participation of every part in the society that lead to quality development for aging society in Kokha. This one is creating a healthy society for the elderly into 4 ways. Physical well-being, that means the elderly have happy body. Mental well-being, that means happy mind. Social well-being, that means that a harmony society, and wisdom well-being that make the volunteer society that leaving no one behind. In Kokha, we have the Center for Quality of Life Development and Occupational Promotion for the Elderly. The center is the central area for the elderly and volunteers to make activity together. For example, occupational training, health checking, exchanging local wisdom to each other, or cleaning public place. That create the many career groups for the elderly in Kokha. For example, artificial flower groups, tie-dye groups, sewing groups, banana leaf craft groups, handicraft whipping groups, and sticky rice cracker groups that make the elderly have their own income and self-reliance that make them feel self-esteem in themselves. Another activities of the care center is home improvement. It's a home improvement for the elderly with the disability by volunteers from the center. This slide is a before improvement, and the light is after. That can change the poor elderly have the good quality of life. In addition to this, our volunteer activities from the center take care and visit the elderly and the disability people at home every month. Now we have more than 2,050 volunteers in the center. We providing medical equipment to the elderly with disability, and every medical equipment comes from the donation, both are from public, private, and people in the community. From the center, we create the elderly school that have the concept of a happy school that promote a quality preparation for entering elderly life. Now we have elderly students more than 2,000, and they go to school once a week on every Tuesday. Local wisdoms from the elderly school become a variety of community, innovation, and income. For example, back message device made from wooden stick, containers from home use from palm leaves, brick from foam, device for pen relief from rubber bands, a figure device to prevent finger locks, necklace from recycled paper, nursing glove for bedleading patients made from used plastic bottle, and fan from a used locally. The outcome of our activity makes good quality of life, generosity and harmony society, and relevant to leaving no one behind. Civil society and the participation of every part in the society. Good governance that work with transparency and accountability. Strong community and public awareness in public problems, and a large diversity with sustainable development by the participation. That made the quality development for aging society, even so a healthy elderly, dependent elderly, and disabled elderly. In the conclusions, we can say that the ways of Gorkha to the life diversity have three ways: self-finding on social capital and local wisdom, public participation and public awareness, sustainable development. All of these leads Gorkha to the aim of everyone, that is the livable and inclusive city, including economic, social, political, and development by the participation of every part in the society. We believe that the livable city is the city that makes the real happiness of people, and every city can be livable city by the participation. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you, special thank you for the academic support from our Faculty of Public Health ธรรมศาสตร์ University ลำพัง Campus ขอบคุณมากค่ะ Thank you.
Wonderful. Khop kun ka. That was fantastic.
Wow, congratulations.
Yay, everybody.
Just amazing again.
Unmute and,
Very impressive.
Ooh,
Very
wonderful.
inspiring.
Wonderful. You have done so much, and we learned so much about Gorkha. It's very,
Thank you.
very, very interesting. You should be mayor for life. Very lovely presentation. Okay, we are getting ready for our third presenter, and this is Dwi Enda, Miss Dwi Enda from Indonesia. She has a master's degree in public health, and she's currently the executive director of the IRL Foundation. So in case you're curious, IRL stands for Indonesia Ramah Lansia. It is a nonprofit, an NGO dedicated to creating elderly friendly areas in Indonesia, and the foundation works in 9 cities. Dwi herself is a published author. She has a long list of books, and she and her programs have won several prizes, for example, from USAID, from Diponegoro University, and from the CS Foundation. And she's also a winner of the Healthy Aging Prize for Asian Innovation, or HAPPY, from the Japan Center of International Exchange. So this is going to be exciting to hear from Ms. Enda and her program. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Catherine. Yeah, can you hear? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you very well, and your slides are gorgeous.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm glad to see you all. Thank you for the opportunity. Let me introduce myself. I am Dwi Enda, and our team are Professor Tribudi, Rizky, Erjin, Ibu Susiana, Ibu Dini, Ibu Rodia, and Miss Dini. We are activists at IRL. IRL means Indonesia Elderly Friendly Organization. In this chance, I would like to present about elderly school. The background of an elderly school is 10% aging population in Indonesia. The number of elderly have challenged to make the elderly stay healthy and good quality of life. To maintain older person well-being is very essential. One of programs to contribute for active aging is elderly informal school. The elderly school is an effort to provide information, training on health, religion, economy, social culture, so that the elderly are independent and improve their quality of life. This is 7 dimension of elderly school program with multidisciplinary approach. We have a curriculum to support activities, including spiritual dimension, physical dimension, social dimension, emotional dimension, intellectual dimension, vocational dimension, and environmental dimension. This is a description of the activities of elderly school. The methods are lectures, interactive discussions, group discussions, role play, practice, and self-help group. This activity has 3 levels, namely basic or standard 1, and the middle or standard 2, and advanced standard 3. Each level with a duration of 1 year. Elderly school is conducted once to twice a month with activities duration of 60 until 100 minutes. And this activities is free of charge. Financing comes from the government, individual donations, and corporate donors. There is also an elderly school that has a participants business profit. During the pandemic, elderly school in several areas continue to run with the online method. Elderly school online conducted every 2 weeks. The duration 2 hours. Social media platform used for elderly school online with Zoom, YouTube, and WhatsApp group. After session, participants are given homework as related to the lesson that have been given. Not all participants in rural areas have mobile phones, only 40%. A study group based on a nearby house, the leader by the head of neighborhood association. And now currently the number of elderly school participants in 5,978 elderly students in all provinces in Indonesia. Located of elderly school in 11 provinces and 9 village in Indonesia. Located of elderly school from North Sumatra province until East Nusa Tenggara province. Most of elderly school students are in Yogyakarta and then West Java. The last activity of elderly school each level is the graduation. The first elderly school graduation was held in the year 2019. And we were very proud when the elderly school graduation was attended by the President ACAP. Thank you very much, Professor Catherine, Professor Takeo, Dr. Dong Hee Han, Ms. Teresia, Ms. Kason was present the graduation ceremony in Yogyakarta. Elderly school students who can graduate are those who always attend school. At the end of each level, there is a test to assess the level of knowledge. And the student of elderly school, after completing level 1, they are continue standard 2 with a more in-depth curriculum. We have concept of synergy and harmonization program elderly school in the community with 3 organization models, such as government organization, private sector, civil social organization, and we need split authority and job description in the implementation of elderly school programs in the community. Elderly schools are known to public through mass media coverage in Indonesia, such as newspapers, magazines, and national televisions. In addition, there is support from public figures in Indonesia, national figure, and official in Indonesia. In this picture, it can be seen that elderly school graduates are invited to national television program to tell their experience of attendance on an elderly school. This is the social impact of the elderly school activities. There is an increase in student knowledge about the 7 dimensions of active aging. And then there was a significant increase in behavior in implementation of active aging dimension after attending school. After we carried out the elderly school, 95% of the students felt their happiness increased. And the satisfaction index in elderly school reached 98% with the categories of satisfied and very satisfied. The impact is related to SDG, means Sustainable Development Goals, including the first goal, the third goal may be good health and well-being. The fourth goal, namely quality education, and five goal of gender equality, because the majority of elderly school students are women until 80%. Okay, thank you very much for your great attention. I would like to apologize if there is a mistake. Our team, Ibu Dini, Ibu Susiana, and Prof. Tribudi will also help answer the question and share her experience in managing an elderly school in Indonesia. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, another wonderful presentation. Are we lucky today? 3 wonderful presentations. Wow. Did you see my
Thank you,
picture
Inda.
there?
You are still consistent in 7 dimensions.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thanks. Yes, I remember that graduation. That was so much fun. It's very fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this is perfect. So we have about 15 minutes for questions, and this is what we want, is we want to have some discussion. And there are several questions in the chat, and let's see if I can find them, or Taryn, if you can find them faster than me, that would be helpful too. Oh, here we go. Oh, could you please email the address of the speakers? So if you're a speaker and you don't mind sharing your email address, please put it in the chat so others can contact you for more information. Okay, Yojiro wants us to know that the Healthy Aging Prize, the Happy Prize, has been extended till the end of May. So please apply. That is good. A lot of congratulations. Okay, here's a question for Somea. I wonder how are Japanese elders and governments dealing with adult children who still live with and depend on their parents? This is a trend in Malaysia. Can you help us with that one, Yoshiko?
You're on mute, Dr. Somea.
You have to unmute.
Okay. So this is not directly related to senior clubs in Japan this time, but I would like to explain something. Actually, this is really serious problem, particularly children's generation for the baby boomer. It means the baby boomer child generation. It is many of them are in their 40s now. Okay, many of them just still depend on the parents, particularly for parents' pension. Okay, then so it is not possible for them to live on the parents' pension forever. The parents will pass away in the future. Then, but I don't know the real question for this. But anyway, because of the economic situation, the job situation, some people are not happy to keep the hard work. So many of them drop out from society. This is happening. But for them, the last thing for them to help them, welfare measure is available for them to keep the basic life. But this is a problem in Japan now.
Very, very interesting comment. I'm going to see if there's other questions. I see that Poonam Pant has her hand raised here.
Yes, ma'am. Hello,
Would you
everybody.
have a question?
Yeah, I have a question I have written also. Can I read it out?
It's a little hard to hear you, but try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
Fine, thank you very much. So I would like to know from Deve Eda about what different levels, like she has mentioned 4 levels of education, like what was the standard? Actually, I'm from Nepal and here too we have people who are uneducated and all. So how did they maintain the standard? How did they like first and second and third level? What did it consist of? I would like to know about it.
Okay. That sounds great. So can you tell us a little bit more about the levels? What do they consist of and how long, how many hours for each one? Are you still here? I can't see you, only your lovely picture.
Mbak Enda. Maybe I can help to answer.
Please, please, Dini.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Dini was also a part of the project.
Yeah. The method of the elderly school that provided by Indonesia Ramah Lansia using 3 methods by standard 1 or S1, and then the middle is standard 2. And the standard 3 for the for the advanced program, and the program every standard is held for 1 year school that held twice a month, and then after they finish the lecture or the material for all the session, then they can follow the graduation program for the at least 90% present in the elderly school. I think that's all. Or is there any question that I missed to answer?
Oh, that was my question too. So each standard is 1 year. And,
Yes.
and then they take all the sessions and then they graduate. So,
Yes.
so are the sessions harder the next year or?
Actually, the session is not harder, but the only the different curriculum or different material that they will give to the participant. Maybe something like if the standard one is only about the general knowledge, yeah, about the how to become a healthy aging, or how to become a productive and active aging, something like that. And then the next level is about the giving the material regarding the geriatric syndrome. Yeah, what is the disease of the aging that common happen to the aging, something like that, or the nutrition that important for the elderly, and how the family can support the nutrition for the elderly. Yeah.
It was too interesting. One thing more came into my mind. Should I ask it? Like, so there was a formal as well as the informal teaching, or only informal method was used?
We are using informal methods because the participant is not from the standard school. They are commonly not from the academic school, mostly. Yeah, they only have basic school for the elementary school only, not until the senior high school, even something like even the academic or the university school. So the program is informal education to the elderly, so they can still active participate in the community group, something like that for now.
Very nice, very nicely explained. Thank you very much. There are so many things again to be questioned, but it was very nice hearing.
Okay,
Thank
so
you very
please
much.
exchange your email with Dini and Dewey so that you can get more information. So this is the whole point of ACAP, is sharing our information.
Thank you very much. I will write the email of Enda and myself, of course.
Okay,
thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, so Mayor Penpuk, there's a question for you. I'm wondering if you can tell us about the male and female participation in the elderly activities in Thailand. Okay, you have to unmute.
About male and female, I think in Tokha we have may I ask Professor Kasan to help me to answer this question อาจารย์ครับฮัลโหลค่ะคือที่เกาะคาค่ะอาจารย์เราจะใช้เรื่องของทั้งบทบาทหญิงชายในเรื่องของความเสมอภาคค่ะอาจารย์เพราะฉะนั้นในการทำงานเนี่ยทางผู้หญิงและผู้ชายเนี่ยก็จะมีอย่างเท่าเทียมกันเพราะฉะนั้นแต่ส่วนใหญ่volunteer ของผู้สูงอายุเราจะเป็นผู้หญิงมากกว่าผู้ชายค่ะ
Kun Penpas answered the question that between male and female, actually the center, particularly the leader of the community, they allow the people to choose whatever they want to work on as a volunteer. But most of the volunteer is female, but they try to share the activity between male and female. Yeah.
Yes, it seems like many senior clubs in many countries attract more females than males. And we need more ideas on how to get men involved. Ed, I think you know how to get men involved. You want to tell us?
คุณน้องปุ้ยทำยังไงถึงผู้ชายจะมีส่วนร่วมมากขึ้นนะคะ
จริงๆแล้วค่ะในส่วนของเกาะคาเองค่ะ เดิมเนี่ยบทบาทของผู้หญิงเราจะน้อยกว่าผู้ชายในอดีต แต่ปัจจุบันเนี่ยเราพยายามในเรื่องของประเด็น gender มันจะทำให้ผู้หญิงเนี่ยลุกขึ้นมามีบทบาททางสังคมเท่าเทียมกับผู้ชายโดยเรามองว่าในการทำงานทางด้านสังคมนั้นน่ะไม่ได้เกี่ยวว่าเป็นหญิงหรือชายแต่เรามองที่คุณค่าของการทำงาน จนก่อให้เกิดเป็นสังคมที่ใช้คำว่าจากความเสมอภาคทางเพศสู่ความเสมอภาคทางสังคมค่ะ
Yeah, as Ka use the concept equal in gender equality and also social equality. So they try to promote both male and female to work on whatever they want and kind of increase the value of the working rather than you are male or you are female. Just look at the value of the work.
Very nice, very nice. Oh, this has just been great. And how fast 1 hour goes. It's amazing. Any last questions? Oh, Thelma K has her hand up. There's some questions in the chat also, so if you can look there.
Okay, here I would like to say something. Okay.
Okay,
So
and then
in
Thelma, and then Vinod. Okay, go ahead, Yoshiko.
Yeah, in Japan, as far as I know, the exercise program activities, particularly for ground golf, I think majority of them are male. Okay, and also that mahjong and also let's see, like shogi, the Japanese chess. These are majority of them male. Okay, it does not necessarily mean more women than men in Japan. That's my feeling.
Okay, very good. Okay, so Thelma.
Yes.
Thelma.
Hello. Okay, I'm unmuted, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, to follow up on this male-female question, I think I want to ask a question on how programming is done in these centers. How do you choose activities? Speaking from Singapore, we have a problem also with male participation, and one of the ways to remedy is to have them organize their own activities. So there are activities like bird singing, for example. But linked to that is some policy implication, because I see that in Japan, the participation is decreasing. So then how does one adapt the activities of these centers, bearing in mind the changing characteristics of the elderly? For example, more elderly are now better educated. So do we have programs like on IT, somebody mentioned in the chat group, on things like mindfulness, things that would appeal to a different cohort of elderly persons? So I would like to have some wisdom from the panelists. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, I am just presenting on the information on senior clubs, but recently senior college and senior school is more popular among the elderly people because it's more informative and more intelligent program. So, however, even for the members in senior clubs, as you know, we have very long history of basic education. So everybody can read and write, even for the elderly people. And people had at least basic education, and some of them have college degrees already. Yeah, that's it.
It sounds like the senior clubs are morphing into senior education. And
it's time yes.
I know that Hong Kong has.
And also they have some lecture programs in senior clubs too. They invite lecture from outside or something like that.
Okay. And Vinod, you also had a question?
May I respond a little bit
Oh,
from
yes,
Kok
please,
Ka?
please, Soren, yes,
because
please, Soren, please respond.
our faculties work with Kok Ka municipality for a while in terms of develop the community life able, something like that, particularly the elderly. We can see the very good strategy from Khun Pen Park that use they work together, both male and female, in some activity, but usually maybe it's kind of the tradition that Thai male, they prefer to be kind of the leader. Why the females, they just work on that. But actually, female use a very wise strategy to lead the group, because they can do everything. But okay, you are the leader, so male become very proud of the activity and can help give a hand to the female to work. For example, at the center that Take Care visit, I think 4 years ago, we can see some males in the center work very hard to support female. While female very polite to them, okay, you can do this, you can do that. It's kind of to work together and both happy, win-win situation. Yeah, that's what I can say from this discussion.
That's great. What a great answer.
Clever.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Can add more, Nong Pui.
Yes, thank you. I want to just say hi to Susan, who's calling in from Canada. Thank you. That's very, it must be very late there. Well, thank you for joining. Vinod, you had a question, I think.
Yes.
Oh, and Brian. Okay, Vinod and then Brian. Okay.
Thank you, Catherine. Well, I think have been very marvelous presentations today and very close to the theme of ACAP. I have a very brief question. I was wondering if at certain places, senior centers and senior colleges could be combined. While the group activities about active aging are going on, they may also like to obtain important information in the form of health, social, spiritual, financial, and other aspects of healthy aging, and let them be enabled to continue these practices at individual level also, because it is the self-management which is equally important to keep themselves active. My very brief second point is about relating to the gender breakup. Well, in India, whatever senior centers I have seen, it is a male dominance. Very few females are a part of these centers. Probably the reason is that they are stuck up in the household activities of routine nature and hardly venture to go out into the group activities. That is just a brief comment about gender breakup. Thank you very much, all the three speakers. Wonderful seminar today. I think it is one of the best webinars. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's a really informative today. Okay, Brian.
Yes, I have a question for Yoshiko, but I'd just like to make a comment on the gender issue. I mean, most Western countries, at least, it has been much more difficult to get men along to these sort of centres. But one of my colleagues in Australia, Barry Golding, set up the Men's Shed movement, which is an international movement that has gone to many, many countries, very strong in New Zealand, Australia, England, Ireland, and the Western kind of countries, where basically the men get together and find out what sort of expertise and knowledge that they have and share that knowledge with each other, usually based around making things, furniture and such like for community, all sorts of activities. They vary a lot from place to place. They're very exciting places, but they're mainly men controlled, which of course sometimes can be controversial. But anyway, I'd like to suggest that perhaps a later webinar might focus on this topic, because I think it's enormously important. And I think it really goes back to what masculinity and femininity mean in various cultures, and you need to look at that as to why why women come to one event and men go to another. Anyway, I'll get to my question, which in relation to Japan, there was mention about how the first son's wife cares for the parents or the elderly. I wonder, has that pattern changed over time, or is there still that expectation?
Well, that's the reason why we started social services. Okay, then now young generation says, oh, this is not my parents. Okay, that's your parents, husband's parents. Okay. So then in my generation, I'm so-called baby boomer generation. Our generation don't think about depend on children anymore. Even people have children, well, I have to go to the nursing home to the end. That's the feeling which we do. And then we have nursing care insurance started in 2000. It provides home care and medical visit, so all kinds of care services. So it is a great help now. So
thank you for that.
So we cannot depend on children anymore.
True.
Very, very interesting. Just a shout out also, Timothy Ma, thanks for joining. Good to see you again. Lenora, some of our faithful attendees. Good to see you.
Thank you. Congratulations all.
Yes, what a wonderful, wonderful seminar, and good idea. A future webinar on gender issues in aging would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really very, very wonderful presentations.
Yes. So let's unmute and show our faces and we give a big round of applause. What a successful webinar. Very interesting.
Bye-bye. Thank you for
you are all
Thank you very much for joining.
Bye. And we'll see you next month.
See you again.
Thank you.
Next time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take a picture of us.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, Terry.
Terima kasih.
Thank you,
Bye,
Terry.
everybody.
All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Namaste.
For supporting the
Group
thank
photo,
you
please.
to support
Yes,
in
I
that
will take a picture
very
for
nice
you.
Okay.
Everyone make a smile.
Lovely photo.
Photo.
Wonderful.
Okay, very good.
Have a nice weekend.
Okay,
You too.
everybody
Bye-bye.
enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Please apply happy price. Please apply happy price. Chance is yours.
Very good to see everyone's face. Very good.
We taken the group photo.
Yeah,
Yes, I did. I sent you and share with you.
Okay. So we'll post this webinar, we'll post the recording on our website. Now you know our website. And if you can't find it, just email me or Taryn and we'll send it to you. Okay. See you next month.
Okay. See you next month. Bye-bye.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Bye-bye.
Patience.
Bye.
Thank you, presenters.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay.